So you've looked at if statements already, if-else statements, right? This is the last example we were looking at, that if demo. Let's continue this just a little bit, and let's look at how we can nest these things, right? Nesting can get a little complex to look at, right? So in our last example, we said if the grade is greater than or equal to 90, right, then we did this. Well, what if we want that to trigger it giving more specific information? Right? What if instead we wanted to, instead of just saying you got an A, we want it to say something like you got an A, you got an A minus, you got an A plus, right? Any of those sorts of things. So I can put other if statements within this, right? And this is where indenting becomes incredibly useful, right? If you haven't found indenting really helping you read your code before, indenting now makes it even better. So let's say if grade is greater than or equal to 90. And then I'm going to say also we have this other way to put two things together. So I'm going to say and, which is double ampersand there, and grade is less than 93. Okay, so that would be an A minus, right? So I'm going to, in this if statement, I'm going to say system.out.println, you earned an A minus. Right? And now we can have multiple pieces to this. So this is going to happen. This if statement will only get checked when this if statement is triggered, right? So keep that in mind. That's a little bit of a difference here. Instead of putting these in order, right? There's no point in checking to see if we got an A minus, right? If we know we didn't even get it in the A range. It's kind of another way we could structure this, right? We could have just structured everything differently if we wanted to, right? Lots of ways to do this, of course. Now let's say I want to capture my A grade, right? So grade is greater than or equal to 93, and let's say grade is less than what is it, 97 or above? So 96 or less than 97, at least for the purposes of this demo, right? And again, system.out.println, right? You earned an A. Right, and now again, I can go and make my next one is going to be saying, hey, let's do an else. So now we know I'm not even going to put the other symbol in there, right? Because if it's greater than 97, right, that's going to be true. So we can say the only other option at this point is that you earned an A plus. Right, so this is going to happen only when it's greater than 97, right? Because that's the only other option that we haven't covered with the other things. So let's just test it. Oops, that's a 90. I want to change this and say this person got a 98. All right, let's compile. Good, no mistakes. Run my demo, if demo. Take a look. Good, you earned an A+, and we also still have that other if statement from the demo that we worked on last time. So this idea of nesting if statements, right, you can make some things you look really kind of fun to think about, like puzzle-wise, right? You can make them look pretty complicated pretty fast when you use nested if statements, but they can be a nice way to increase your efficiency a little bit, right? For instance, I don't need to check and see if I got the plus, minus, or whatever when we're talking about if I got an A, right? If I just barely passed, there's no reason to check all of those circumstances, right? So you're checking less things, but there's other circumstances where maybe you would want to do that, right? So there's lots of ways you can structure it, but the point is you can nest these things just like you did back when you did stuff in Scratch, right? It's really the same idea as that.